what did it take for me to get sober? I had to lose everything. You know, I lost absolutely everything. That was the only way that I was going to get sober. I loved to drink. I loved using. I was doing blow and drinking, you know, probably a fifth and a half a day sometimes. And, you know, drinking and using, that was like my thing. Like, that was, I didn't care about anything else. That always came first. I needed to have blow. I needed to have a fifth. If I had those things, I was good. I didn't care about anything else. That was my world. That was my absolute world for about 3 years, you know. And the only way that I was going to get sober and truly stay sober, you know, I'm 6 months sober right now. It's the longest I've been sober. But nothing else, nothing pain-free. You know, the easy way, only the absolute worst possible scenario was the only scenario that was going to get me sober. I had to lose absolutely everything, including I lost all of my money, my vehicles. You know, I've been jumped. I was no clothes. I literally had no clothes. I had a pair of ripped jeans and like a junk shirt on. Lost my phone. I lost everything. I lost my housing. I got evicted. I was homeless for a very long time, and at least for me, it was a long time. I lost everything, you know, and I went from having, you know, I went from food stamps to, I had about 6 figures after I sold a business and a bottle of stuff, and that's where it all kind of started. And I lost it all. And also it still wasn't enough to lose, you know, all my possessions, my living situation, shelter, food. None of that mattered. I still found a way and to fund my addiction. That was through stealing from my family. And it blows my mind. I mean, so I'm only 6 months sober, but, you know, when you get sober, you start to notice changes. Like, you know, after like, it's about 14 days for me, and I've noticed 'cause I've done it so many times now, but about 14 to 15 days, you start to have like a mindset change. Like you start to kind of like, you just think differently, and you get like, and once you start kind of registering differently, like it's weird how your brain works, but it's just like, it doesn't think the same when you get sober versus like when you're deep in your addiction, you're drugged out all the time, and just like, it doesn't, you know, it's not the same. And, you know, your mindset changes after about 2 weeks, and then you start realizing things. And for me, it was like, it was always like a very predictable path. I'd be all about getting sober. I'm ready to go. You know, I'm motivated. I feel like I'm losing time. I'm ready to knock this sober stuff out. I'm all about it. And then, you know, 20 days comes, and then you're just like, you're in rehab. You're ready to get out. You're kind of like, you're done with it. You're like, whatever, I got this on my own. I'm fine. That never works. That's my pattern, though. I go through this pattern where, you know, I'm all about it, and then it kind of falls off. I get kind of pissy with people, and then I'm ready to get out. I'm going home. I don't care about anybody else's opinion. I'm good. I got this. Never works. You know, I fall right back on the same path. But after about 2 weeks, you start thinking, you're like, how did I think the way that I used to think when I was, you know, deep in my addiction? It's like, now I'm like, how could I have possibly stole from my family? Holy smokes. And I put them in such a bad position, all just to fund my addiction. And to this day, I don't know how my mind thought that way, thought that like, that's good, you know, I can steal from my parents, no remorse. Like, that blows my mind that I could ever possibly fathom even thinking of doing something like that after they've given me everything off their back and shoulders. It's just blows my mind. Like, what a piece of trash, you know, I was. And it sucks, but you know, you're stuck with that guilt and like that kind of just you feel terrible. You're just embarrassed, and you got to build it back and make amends. But you know, I had to lose everything. I lost absolutely everything, and what really did it for me was going broke, losing every dime I had, and then not having any more money. You know, when I couldn't steal from my parents anymore, they shut the cards off. That's what got me. That's what made me tired of it, because I can't even barely walk, and I was not able to survive. Like, I was actually, it was like life or death for me. It was awful. It was so bad. But I had to lose everything. And some people are like that. I think some people truly are like that. I'm one of those. I don't know about you guys. If you guys had to lose everything, what you've been through trying to get sober. I got sober in my 20s, and thank God it happened to me early, because I was reckless. It was just, what was I doing kind of thing. And here I am, I'm starting over. In my entire life, I got to start over and build from nothing. And, but it was the only way. The only way I had to get sober was I had to lose absolutely everything. And it's tough. I had to lose everything. And some people, that's the only way that they're going to get sober. Some people will be like the same pattern, relapsing all the time. And I did that for a long time, been through multiple rehabs. And, you go to rehab and maybe you just drink a few times afterwards. You'll lapse, is what they call it, rather than relapse. And maybe you're okay. Some people are, but, I had to lose everything, and I can't even pick up one drink. I can't pick up one drink. If I pick up one sip of alcohol, I know exactly where it's going to lead, and I might be okay. And a lot of people get this mistake, and you pick up one drink, think you're going to be okay, you're not going to drink that much, you'll be fine the next day, you're done. You're just doing it on this one occasion. That's how it starts. And then people stop going to meetings, and that is the common story I hear nonstop in AA. NA, it's like, I lapsed, or I stopped going to meetings, and then I started up again, and it slowly spiraled out. And then every single time that you lapse and then you relapse, it is so much worse. Every single time, it's so much worse. The pain, everything that you go through, if you relapse again, it's so much worse than the first time that you did it. And it's so much worse the third time than it was the second time. So, losing everything was the only thing that got me sober. And I have to say, is it better sober? Is life better? I'm 6 months in, and it is better. Life's better sober. I'm 6 months in. I noticed a bunch of changes. You do notice changes as time goes on, and I would say life is better. But living sober is not easy. It's not freaking easy. I don't know. People say it's amazing. Like, it's not. It's for, at least for me, it's not. It's better overall, but I'm having issues with being stuck in the grind, just the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, is this what I get sober just to do this over and over, this routine over and over? There's no excitement. But I'm getting kind of over that, and you start to take fun in like the littler things that you never enjoyed when you were deep in addiction, drinking and using. You start to take enjoyment in those, but life's not easy, at least for me. When I got sober, it was hard, but it was manageable. It became manageable. When you're drinking, life spirals out of control. You don't know how to handle stuff. Your computing power and your conflict resolution skills are just so minute that everything you just drink on the fact. Anything stress you out, drink. So one also tough thing is socializing with people sober. That's tough. I don't know how I'm going to date sober. What the heck? I don't know how that's gonna work. But it's life is better. It's definitely better. But getting sober, I had to lose everything, and getting sober ain't easy. It's not easy. So whoever said it's a walk in the park, I don't know. That was not the case for me. I had to live in a sober living home. That's what got me sober. It was a sober living home and then going to meetings every day. That's truly what got me sober. And getting into a routine. But when you do get sober, you are able to you can piece your life back together. And you do notice you're able to piece your life back together so quickly. Like, legitimately, if you get sober, I noticed about a month, about 30 days after I got sober and I stayed sober, I was able to piece my life back together. And you do notice significant progress, and you notice significant progression. Like, you notice how life just kind of falls in place, and you make so much progress. Like I got a job. What I mean by that is I got a job. I was making income. I got a vehicle. I got my life up. I got a license, insurance. I got all these things that I never had, and I got all my warrants and everything taken care of, legal issues, everything taken care of really quickly. Like you're able to kind of manage life steps and like things you need to get done way quick. So that's a nice thing. Becomes manageable. You're able to kind of progress in life, but losing everything was the only way that I was going to get sober. No other way. I couldn't do it any other way. And how about you guys? Please tell me what have you guys, if you guys have if you guys have started drinking because of social anxiety, you're trying to socialize with people, like it's your crutch, or you've been through this and you're deep in your addiction, anything like that, let me know. Like, did you have to lose everything? Because I lost absolutely everything, and I'm still crawling my way out of the hole I've dug myself in. I'm trying to build relationships back with my family. I've got debt I'm trying to pay off. Legal issues are finally taken care of. That was a pain. But I'm curious to know you guys' story. What is your story? What made you want to get sober? What was the mindset shift that actually made you want to get sober? That's what I'm curious, and I like going to AA meetings because sometimes you get the old timers, and those guys are the best. They've got the best stories, the shortest, most concise, actionable tips and like advice. I love them. That's my favorite meetings with the old timers. But yeah, let me know your story. I am definitely curious, and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be talking about sobriety a lot. It's because I'm sober. I'm 6 months sober, and this is the longest I've been sober since I've been probably 21, so about 6-7 years. Long time, and it does feel good. I'm glad I'm sober. I don't want to change it. I don't want to pick up a single drink. Just having troubles, I guess, getting adjusted to it, but it's it's doing its thing in due time. So thanks. Subscribe.